So the Dark Rock 4 and the Dark Rock Pro 4 are finally here, and they are the 4th generation in air coolers from Be Quiet. They actually offer quite a lot to be considered next gen. The driving motive behind the next generation is easier installation, better space compatibility, and AM4 support. At least that's what it looks like on the outside. The Dark Rock 3 and Pro 3 were both well received for the most part and cooled most CPUs with no issue. Perhaps the biggest changes take place between the Dark Rock Pro 3 and 4. But let's see what this brings to the CPU cooler market. What's up guys, it's JD from JDTechGear and welcome back to the channel. So my previous experience with the Dark Rock Pro 3 was definitely a hassle. It's a fantastic cooler in terms of cooling and noise production, no doubt about that. But the loops I had to jump through just to get it to mount properly, let alone be able to accommodate for the RAM sticks, was a complete headache. I actually completely ditched the manual and had to figure out my own method of installing it myself. Once it was installed, it was great, but I swap coolers all the time, so I was not looking forward to the next time I had to redo the installation. I spent some good time with both of these coolers, and I can say the installation process is leaps better than what I went through with the Dark Rock Pro 3. To keep it short, most of the specifications are the same from the previous generation, with exception to the installation process and clearance and a couple other small factors. Both coolers sport the same amount of heat pipes as their previous incarnation, same thermal ratings, except the Dark Rock 4 has a 200 watt TDP compared to the 190 watt TDP rating found on the Dark Rock 3, and a couple other traits. The Dark Rock 4 and Pro 4 both have heat spreaders on top of the contact plate. The Dark Rock 3 had a heat spreader, but the Pro 3 did not. There's an L-shaped cutout on the fins on the Pro 4 to help accommodate for RAM clearance, which does help with installation, believe it or not. Also, the fans are slightly different from both generations of coolers. Alright, so let's get into the installation process. They're both relatively the same, except you do not need to worry about the middle fan in the middle of the cooler with the Dark Rock 4, since it's a single fan cooler. For Intel LGA 1150, 51, 56 installations, take the backplate and fit the mounting screws through the back of it. There's a couple different locations to place the mounting screw according to your socket type. Once the mounting screw is fixed into place correctly, place down the rubber washer to hold it in place and protect the motherboard from the backplate. Next, screw on the 4 bases for securing the backplate onto the motherboard. Then screw in the 2 mounting braces. Make sure they're pointed outwards. Next, remove the middle fan and mount the cross brace onto the top of the contact plate, and the cross brace should fit over the top of the mounting braces. Next, unscrew the 2 caps on the top of the plate of the cooler to mount the mounting screws. The provided screwdriver, which is really nice by the way and also magnetic, can fit through the hole, but the screws cannot, unfortunately. You'll need to stick the screwdriver through first and then place a screw on the screwdriver. Once the cooler is fully mounted, install the middle fan with the fan clips. I personally recommend taking out the GPU for this installation to give yourself maximum clearance and ease of use while installing. And the Dark Rock 4 is pretty much the same, like I said earlier, except you just don't need that middle fan and have to worry about that. You just have to take off the front fan and then install it after the cooler is mounted. AM4 installation is mostly the same, with the exception that you use the provided AM4 backplate instead of the one that came with the cooler. Now let's talk about the cooling and noise performance. The test bench I'm using is 8600K clocked to 4.8 GHz with the AIDA64 stress test. The other coolers I'll be drawing a competitive comparison from is the Dark Rock Pro 3 and Noctua NHD15. Also keep in mind all these temperatures are delta temperature over ambient temperature. So running AIDA64, the Pro 4 ran at 46.8 degrees Celsius with a stock fan curve and a max fan curve that ran at 44.8 C, topping out at 42 decibels of total system noise. Compared to the Dark Rock Pro 3, it's almost the same, but a bit better. The max fan speed has a lower noise output and slightly less temperature output by a little over a degree. Of course, these are very similar numbers, so it's a possibility the temperature difference can be within a margin of variability. The NHD15 runs a bit cooler at 44 C and roughly the same decibel output by 0.6 decibels. At a max fan curve, the NHD15 ran 42.8 C and produced 45.1 decibels of total system noise, which is about 3 decibels louder than the Pro 4. Lastly, the Dark Rock 4 ran at 49.3 degrees C with 40.4 decibels of noise at a stock fan curve, and at a max fan setting ran at 47.3 C, producing 41.6 decibels of total system noise. Unfortunately, I don't have the Dark Rock 3, but I'm assuming the performance trend is going to be similar to the DarkRock Pro 3 and 4. Similar temperatures, but slightly lower noise output. The NHD15 is the coolest among the bunch of the coolers I have so far, but the Pro 4 does give a run for its money with a close second in performance and installation. The NHD15 has a well thought out installation as well and deserves recognition for it. The DarkRock 4 and Pro 4 both have similar installations, but they are relatively easy as well. The Pro 4 is by far the biggest difference in installation hassle, and I'm very pleased to see it solved. Also, the clearance is much better than the Pro 3 and performs nearly the same, if not better. So basically, no trade-off from the previous generation, which is great. I haven't worked with the DarkRock 3, but the DarkRock 4 was a pleasure to install and made it easy to swap out new coolers during testing. Clearance is fantastic with this cooler and performs very well for its size, and it's ridiculously quiet while doing so. Of course, the build quality is solid on both of these coolers and the NHD15 as well, but honestly, who didn't expect that? If you're wondering if these are worth money, they definitely are. Be Quiet has made the next generation of their Rock Cooler series worth the badge of next gen and have made a significant improvement to an already well-performing cooler. Hope you all enjoyed the review. Let me know what you all want to see more from the channel in the comments down below. If you're new here and you want to see more videos like this one, consider checking out the rest of the channel and subscribing. Thank you all for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.